editor and creator at Loco travel magazine. I thought I'd just do a little clip just so you guys can get to know me a little bit better. I've had a few people say, is Loco yours, and who's behind it? So I thought I'd just do a clip so you guys can hear a little bit more about my story and my sort of motivations to launch the brand. So yeah, I'll try and be as quick as possible, and bear with me, this is my first video, so hopefully it's not too scattered. So I'm a traveller. I've always travelled. I started when I was 18, and that sort of started an onset of travelling for the last 10 years. Short trips, long trips, from 1 week to 6 months in Europe in 1 year. But it wasn't enough for me. Travelling was my happiness. I felt alive, and I felt weirdly at home whenever I was travelling. I'd come back and I would find myself unhappy where I was working, unhappy with just everyday life, and that's not the sort of person I am. I'm a very happy person, very positive person, so I knew I needed to do something about it. But travelling made me happy, so I spent some time exploring the other things that made me happy, and one of the other things and one of my other passions was writing. So I made a decision one day to fuse the two together and become a travel writer. That was always in the back of my mind, but I never knew that I could make it a reality. But what I've learnt now, and what I'm continuing to learn, is if you want something enough, and if you really really can't stop thinking about it, if it's in your thoughts every day, you've just got to follow it. You've just got to make it your reality. You've got to just bring it to life, which is what I did. So yeah, started freelancing for a few years. It got to a stage where I was working 60-70 hour weeks, and I just couldn't do it anymore. So I finally made the decision to quit my job and launched my business, which was wonderful. So I was doing a lot of lots of different writing for lots of different clients, mostly based in my hometown in Adelaide, but picked up a few clients as I started travelling. So last year, my friend and I actually packed our bags and moved to Bali for a year. Absolutely loved it. I could never go back to, not only working for a sort of a 9-to-5 job, but being based in just one place. It completely changed my life again, and continues to change my life. I'm now living in New York. I've been here for a couple of months, and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm here by myself now, and it's just a whole new element of lessons, and people have been so lovely to me, and I'm continually learning about myself each and every day, which is what I love about traveling. So yes, on my own personal journey, and will continue to live this life for as long as I can. Now a little bit about Loco and about my the reasoning behind that. So as I started to travel back in my early 20s, I obviously did a lot of research. I was continuously on blogs and YouTube and all of these different platforms, and what I noticed, there was this sort of soft sell and inauthenticity to whatever I was reading. It was about top 10 lists and top 10 places to stay and what you should eat when you're in Asia, or top 10 things you should eat. And every time in my mind I was like, why are we confining these places by lists? It just made no sense to me. So yeah, and this nagging thought of inauthenticity, and why isn't there real storytelling in all these travelings? I mean, sorry, all these travel pieces. Whenever we come back from a trip, the first thing you do is tell all these amazing stories, and that's what travelling is. It's about storytelling, and it's about talking about a place by talking about its people, and all these beautiful experiences you've had, good and bad. So that kind of sort of planted a seed in my mind to maybe have that as my little niche, and it kind of evolved over a couple of years' time, and I didn't just sort of want to be any other blogger. It was more than that. I wanted to inspire people to follow their own happiness and follow that sort of own inner compass, and not be afraid to sort of break society's norms and break your own kind of rules that you've been grown up to adhere to and you're accustomed to. And that kind of started to develop even more, and now the brand has turned into something which is more about challenging assumptions and the way you think about the world, and using travel as education. And I guess what am I trying to say? Now the brand is very much focused on helping my readers, helping locos challenge the way they think about their own life and how it should be, and the, you know, the what ifs and the what should, you know, the all those concerns that sort of go on in your mind, and kind of bringing my readers on the journey with me, and the way I talk about the lessons I learn and the challenges I have and the problems and the, you know, the beautiful moments I see in these countries. I think we need to talk about travel in this way, because it's not all cocktails and sunsets and you know, laughing. It's, you know, it's loneliness, and it's missing out on things at home, and you know, you're on your own journey of what that could potentially mean. And so I'm sort of going off on a tangent here, but the brand has now turned into something from which started out just as a way for me to sort of tell authentic stories about travel, and now it's turned into sort of inspiring people to design their own life. And for me, it's using travel as that platform, and for many others as well. I think it's the best form of education, and I think a lot of people have that mindset. But a lot of the time they're maybe too worried or too scared to pursue that. So I'm sort of putting myself out there as a potential, not role model, but you know, what can come out of living a life that's completely authentic to yourself. So yeah, I'll continue to build you know, build this platform and meet amazing people. I'm hoping that with the work I'm doing and the work that my team are doing, that we can inspire you know, a great group of people to sort of forge their own path in life, not just traveling, and you know, design their own life. And I think that's really beautiful. So I hope that's given you a little bit better of an idea about what I do and what the whole brand's about. This year we're working on producing the first book, which will be really exciting, as well as a membership site for our locos to find sort of home in other sort of like-minded people. So stay tuned for all of that. Anyways, thank you so much for listening, and have a great day. Bye.